Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Lesmeister. I want to let you know about a little project I've decided to take on in order to prepare for celebrating the 50th anniversary of America's landing on the moon, which will happen, of course, in July of next year. I have purchased a Saturn V rocket model, and my plan is to put it together over the course of the next few weeks or months, depending on how long it takes. And while doing so, I want to record some videos to talk a little bit about the history of the space program, especially the moon landings, and to hopefully share a little bit of my sense of excitement about this upcoming anniversary. Before I start building the model, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the history that led up to the manned missions to the moon. For many people, this is tied up with the Cold War competition between the United States and its allies and the Soviet Union and its allies, and surely that was a big part of it. But President Kennedy made it quite clear in his speech at Rice University, shortly after announcing the goal of putting somebody on the moon, that there was a lot more to it than that. He compared it to the efforts to climb the highest mountain, or having Charles Lindbergh flying solo across the Atlantic, or having Rice University try to play Texas in football. So before we get on to the Apollo program, let's talk about the two human spaceflight programs that the Americans had before that. The Mercury program was mainly intended to see that people could be launched into space and survive there. It was a single-person capsule. The first two flights were suborbital flights just to prove the basic concept of the capsule. And then the third flight by John Glenn was the first orbital flight for an American. We were seen as catching up with the Russians, if you will, during the Mercury program. The follow-on program to Mercury was the Gemini program. In the Gemini capsule, there were two astronauts who would go into space. And the Gemini missions were largely organized around proving some of the technologies and techniques that would be necessary in later space exploration, particularly the Apollo program. For example, we had to learn if we could dock with something in space, an orbital rendezvous, as they grew to call it. One of the techniques that was done first by the United States in the Gemini program was spacewalking, actually getting out of the capsule in space. So this might be necessary. As we've seen now, we do that on a routine basis on the International Space Station. One of the things I like about this Lego kit is that they have some very detailed graphics on the back of the box. These graphics will be useful when I try to explain some of the things about the Apollo program in later videos. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the things I love about Lego is that they leave nothing to chance and they explain everything in the instructions. And the instructions are written without words. And so they have to explain even something as simple as taking bags 1 and 2 out of the box and putting them on the table. And so here they show a minifig taking his Lego box and taking out bags 1 and 2 and putting them on the table. I should now do the exact same thing. And here is bag number 1. And here is bag number 2. I hope I look as happy as the minifig in the picture. Here's the completed bag number 1. You can get an idea of the scale of this project. I'm saying that's just one out of the 12 bags that come with the project. You can get a more literal idea of the scale if you look in here and it says that is the actual size of the minifig, and then it shows the size of the minifig in comparison to the actual rocket. So this is going to be quite a large endeavor, and I'm probably going to have to rethink where I'm going to do this construction, but I'll talk more about that in the next video.